Hello and welcome back to another episode of my autumn series where I make recipes that showcase seasonal produce, and this week it's all about celeriac. I want to describe celeriac as a cross between a celery and a potato, but that doesn't really make it sound that great. I would say that it's mild, savoury, slightly nutty, and has a really satisfying, creamy, soft texture. It happens to pair well with cream and potatoes, so I'm making it into a gratin, which as a French person, I think is probably the most elite way to eat any vegetable. So we're going to start by making some caramelized onions as a little flavour layer for our gratin. So we're going to slice lots of onions and cook them in a pan with some oil, a bit of thyme, until they go all brown all over. When they start to stick, deglaze with some apple cider vinegar and then top it up with some water and let that cook down until they get really nice and jammy. While that's cooking away for about 20 minutes, we can start the prep on our celeriac. So you want to chop off both ends so you get a nice flat surface that you can work with, and then you're going to follow the skin around with the blade of your knife to peel it. So just go around the edge and keep going all the way around, and you can use that line that you see of the skin to guide your knife around. Then you'll just have a few knobbly bits at the bottom that just need a bit of trimming to make sure you get all the dirt. Then cut it into quarters, and we're going to thinly slice it, or émincer as it's called. It takes a bit of time, but luckily for you, you don't have to sit and watch me cut through 2 celeriacs. And then we're going to do the same with our potatoes, try and cut them to roughly the same thickness as the celeriac. And I'm not bothering with peeling those. Potato peel is nice and tasty and full of vitamins, so it's going in. Once all that chopping is done, we can mix them up and pop them in a saucepan with some crushed garlic cloves, thyme, salt, pepper, and then I'm going for a bit of a mix between a dauphinois style gratin and a boulangère style gratin, where I couldn't decide between the two, so I've mixed them for the best of both worlds. So I'm putting in both cream and some veg stock as well. It makes the gratin a bit lighter, a bit more of an everyday meal than a full-on dauphinois style, but it still has some of that richness and silky creaminess. Bring them to the boil and then cook for about 10 minutes until you can poke a knife through, but you still get a bit of resistance in the veg. Then prep the onions with a bit of mustard, salt and pepper. Taste them to make sure they're seasoned to your liking, and then we can start the big layering job. We're going into a buttered dish with our vegetables and cream, then our caramelized onion, then I'm grating some nutmeg all over the top, and then a layer of grated parmesan, as generous as you feel. And then we start again, and there's enough for about 3 layers, I would say. Then we finish it off with a few little blobs of butter on top to help it go nice and golden brown, and pop it in the oven and cook it for about 50 minutes until you have a nice even brown top. While that's cooking away, we can make a little accompanying salad with all of celeriac's best friends. First up, we have apple. So I'm going to slice one in a julienne style. So cut out the core, then slice it into thin, flat slices, and then you go across that so you get small sticks. That was an awful way of explaining. I hope the video helps a bit better, but then you get your nice small matchsticks of apple. Then next up, other best friend is hazelnuts. So I'm toasting those off in a pan on medium heat until they start to go a bit golden brown. Release all those flavorful oils, and then we're just going to roughly chop those on a board until we get nice uneven texture goodness. And then finally, we've got a lovely vinaigrette, which works well on lots of salads. Love this recipe. So I'm adding Dijon mustard, a bit of maple syrup, some apple cider vinegar, and some rapeseed oil, and just whisking that until it emulsifies. A bit of salt and pepper to taste, and we're good to go. I'm going to mix that up with some rocket, and once we're all done, we're ready to serve up. lovely veggie meal or a side dish, whatever you fancy. I hope you enjoy, and as always, please make sure to like and subscribe for more every week.